Love doesn't always announce itself with grand gestures or dramatic declarations. Sometimes, it speaks in silence, in subtle glances, thoughtful pauses, and quiet consistency. When a man begins to fall for you, especially if he's not yet ready to say it out loud, his feelings often surface in the most unexpected ways. It's not just in what he says, but in what he does without thinking. The unconscious behaviors, the small acts of care, and the little things he remembers when no one else does. These are the silent clues of a heart slowly and sincerely falling in love. Many women expect love to arrive like a movie scene, bold, poetic, loud. But real affection, the kind that grows with time and intention, often shows up more like a whisper than a roar. A man who is truly falling for you may never come out and say it right away. Instead, he'll make sure you get home safe. He'll send a message in the middle of a busy day, just to hear how you're doing. He'll notice when something's off with your mood before you even say a word. And slowly, he'll start to shape his life in ways that include you. Not because he's trying to win you over, but because you've already become part of his world. These signs are easy to overlook if you're only searching for words. But when you start paying attention to his actions, the kind of attention he gives you, the way he looks at you when you're not watching, or the small sacrifices he makes without complaint, you begin to understand what his heart is trying to say. You realize that love is not always a thunderstorm. Sometimes, it's a steady rain, soft, quiet, and deeply nourishing. This list of 15 subtle clues he's secretly falling for you is for every woman who has ever wondered what's really going on behind a man's silence. It's for those who feel something unspoken, a connection, a shift, a tenderness that lingers, and want to understand it without having to force the words. Each of these signs reveals a deeper layer of emotional truth, a glimpse into a man's heart that he may not yet be brave enough to voice. But make no mistake, his silence isn't absence. It's full of meaning, waiting to be understood. So before you question whether he feels something real, read these signs carefully. Let them speak where words haven't yet. Because often, the quietest actions are the ones filled with the loudest love. 1. He remembers the smallest details about you. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the most telling signs is how he remembers the smallest details about you. Things even you might forget. It's not just about remembering your birthday or your favorite color. It's deeper than that. He'll recall how you take your coffee, the way you laugh when you're nervous, or the offhand comment you made about a childhood memory. This kind of attention isn't accidental. It shows he's truly listening, not just hearing. You might mention something once, like your love for thunderstorms or how a certain song makes you emotional. And weeks later, he brings it up again, casually or thoughtfully. Maybe you said you're allergic to strawberries, and without making a big deal of it, he never offers anything with strawberries in it. That kind of awareness isn't common with people who are just being polite. It's the behavior of someone who genuinely cares. This attention to detail is his way of holding onto pieces of you, collecting them silently, and proving to himself that you matter. It's his love language, quiet, observant, and deeply intentional. He may not always say how he feels out loud, but remembering the little things becomes his way of expressing affection. He values who you are, not just in grand moments, but in the tiny, seemingly insignificant ones too. Even in group settings, you might notice he catches details others miss, like when you're tired, overwhelmed, or trying to hide your feelings. That emotional memory becomes a silent thread between you. Because when a man is falling for you, every detail about you becomes something he wants to hold on to. And remembering them, that's his way of showing you he already has. 2. He finds excuses to spend time with you. When a man is secretly falling for you, he won't always say it out loud, but his actions speak volumes. One of the most telling signs is when he constantly finds excuses to spend time with you. It doesn't matter how small or casual the reason is. What matters is that he's intentionally creating moments to be near you. Maybe he suddenly takes an interest in something you like, a show you're watching, a place you frequent, or even a hobby you've mentioned. He might suggest you just hang out, or invite you to events where he knows you'll feel comfortable. Even if it's something as simple as helping you run errands or offering to walk you home, It's never really about the task. It's about being in your space. You'll notice these moments aren't random. They're intentional, but he keeps them low-key. He doesn't want to pressure you or make it obvious, so he'll wrap his feelings in convenience, like saying, "I was in the area anyway," or "I just happened to have some free time." But deep down, he's carving out that time for you. These moments add up. He lingers longer after conversations, makes plans he doesn't cancel, and seems to light up in your presence. Even when life is busy, he finds ways to make you part of his routine. Because when a man is falling for you, time spent with you isn't something he has to make room for. It becomes something he looks forward to. Being around you isn't a favor. It's his favorite part of the day. 3. He mirrors your body language unconsciously. When a man is secretly falling for you, his body often reveals what his words don't. One of the most subtle but powerful signs is when he unconsciously mirrors your body language. It's not something he plans or forces. It just happens naturally when he's deeply attuned to you. You might cross your legs, and a moment later, he does the same. You lean forward while talking, and he leans in too. These little reflections happen without him realizing, because his focus is on you. Mirroring is a subconscious way we connect with people we feel close to. It signals comfort, empathy, and emotional alignment. When someone mirrors you, it means they feel safe, engaged, and in sync. It's more than just posture. He might match your tone, rhythm of speech, or the way you gesture with your hands. If you laugh softly, he mirrors that energy. If you get animated during a story, his expressions mirror yours with excitement or empathy. His body begins to echo yours like a quiet rhythm, as if you're dancing without music. This kind of behavior is rarely noticed right away, but once you catch it, it's hard to miss. It's his unspoken way of saying, "I see you. I feel you. I'm here with you." He doesn't do it to impress. He does it because his heart is quietly reaching for yours. In a world full of loud gestures and over-the-top romance, this is one of the most intimate and honest signs. It's in the silence of synchronized movement that the depth of his feelings begins to show. When a man starts mirroring you without even knowing it, his heart may already be following yours. 4. He gets a little nervous around you sometimes. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the most genuine signs is how he gets a little nervous around you. Not in an awkward or clumsy way, but in those small, telling moments where his guard drops. It's in the way his voice slightly shifts when you walk into the room, or how he fidgets with his hands when the conversation turns a bit personal. It's subtle, but very real. This kind of nervousness doesn't mean he lacks confidence. In fact, it often happens with men who are usually very composed. But when feelings are involved, even the most self-assured person can become unsure of themselves. He starts to care about how he looks, what he says, how you perceive him. There's a quiet pressure he puts on himself to make a good impression, because, deep down, your opinion matters to him more than he admits. Maybe he overthinks what to text, takes a little longer to reply, or hesitates before speaking when he wants to say something meaningful. Sometimes, he might laugh at the wrong time or stumble over his words. Not because he's uncomfortable, but because he cares. That little flutter of nervous energy around you is a sign that his feelings run deeper than friendship or casual interest. These nerves can show up in his body language too. A quick glance away when your eyes meet, straightening his posture when you walk by, or adjusting his shirt or hair for no obvious reason. All of it points to one truth. He wants to be seen by you in the best possible light. And while he may not say it outright, his nervousness tells a quiet story, one where every beat of his heart is a step closer to yours. 5. He initiates contact, even without a reason. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the clearest signs is when he initiates contact for no specific reason at all. He doesn't need an excuse, a question, or a task. He just wants to connect. Whether it's a simple message, a quick call, or a spontaneous visit, he reaches out because you're on his mind. And that impulse to talk to you, even about nothing, says more than words ever could. You might get random texts like, "What are you up to?" or "Just thought of you." These aren't driven by necessity. They are emotional check-ins. He's not trying to fix anything or get something from you. He's simply making space for you in his day. And often, it's not about the conversation itself. It's about the feeling of closeness it brings him. This kind of contact is effortless but consistent. He doesn't go silent for days. He doesn't wait for you to make the first move every time. He keeps the thread of connection alive because it matters to him. You might notice he responds quickly, continues conversations, or brings up things you've said before, all signs that his attention is genuinely on you. Even in person, he'll find ways to initiate interaction. A quick shoulder touch, a light joke to spark conversation, or a gentle tease just to make you smile. It's his way of staying in your orbit, not out of obligation, but out of growing affection. In a world full of distractions, choosing to reach out, just because, is a quiet form of commitment. It means he's thinking about you when he doesn't have to. And that's not random. That's falling. 6. He subtly checks on your mood or well-being. When a man is secretly falling for you, his concern for your emotional well-being starts to show in small but meaningful ways. He might not say, "I care about you" outright, but his actions speak with quiet clarity. One of those actions is how he subtly checks in on your mood, often without making it obvious. It could be a gentle "Are you okay?" when he notices a shift in your tone, or a simple "rough day" when you sigh without realizing it. Sometimes he doesn't even ask. He just adjusts his energy to match yours. If you're feeling low, he becomes more gentle. If you're excited, he joins in with genuine enthusiasm. His emotional radar becomes tuned to yours. He remembers when you had a tough meeting, a doctor's appointment, or an awkward family situation, and checks in afterward. Not with dramatic gestures, but with simple, thoughtful words. "How did it go?" Or just checking in. Those small questions carry a deep message. Your emotional state matters to me. Even during group conversations or busy moments, he might catch your eyes just to make sure you're doing okay. He notices the things others overlook, the pause in your laughter, the silence in your usual chatter. That awareness doesn't come from obligation. It comes from affection. This subtle care is his way of saying he's present, not just physically, but emotionally. When a man starts checking in on you without being asked, when he senses your moods without you saying a word, it means his heart is already invested. He wants to make sure you're okay, not because he feels responsible, but because your happiness has become part of his. 7. His protective in quiet, non-obvious ways. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the strongest yet softest signs is how protective he becomes, not in loud, controlling ways, but through quiet, thoughtful actions. His instinct to look out for you kicks in without making a scene. It's subtle, it's sincere, and it often goes unnoticed unless you're paying close attention. He might walk on the outer side of the sidewalk without saying a word. He'll offer his jacket if the wind picks up, even if you insist you're fine. If you're in a crowded room, his eyes will subtly scan your surroundings, making sure you're comfortable, not overwhelmed, and always within reach. It's not possessive, it's deeply respectful. This kind of protectiveness also shows up emotionally. He notices when someone says something that bothers you and quietly changes the subject or redirects the conversation. He defends you when you're not around, not for credit, but because your name means something to him. If someone crosses a line with you, even jokingly, his mood changes. He doesn't overreact, he just doesn't let it slide. You may also see it in how he makes plans. He checks if you've eaten, if you got home safe, or reminds you to rest when you're overwhelmed. These aren't just habits, they're K-driven instincts. His way of saying, "You matter to me," without ever needing to say it out loud. His protection isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, respectful, and constant. He doesn't make you feel small, he makes you feel safe. And when a man starts looking out for your heart, your peace, and your comfort without needing attention or recognition, that's not just kindness. That's love, slowly unfolding. 8. He notices changes in your appearance. When a man is secretly falling for you, he starts noticing things that others overlook, especially changes in your appearance. Whether it's a new hairstyle, a different shade of lipstick, or even something as simple as the way you've done your nails, he picks up on it. And often, he'll comment in a way that feels natural, genuine, and unforced. This awareness isn't superficial. It comes from a place of attentiveness. He's observing you closely, not because he's trying to flatter you, but because you've become a part of his focus. When you mean something to someone, even the subtlest changes stand out. It's his way of saying, I see you, fully, and with intention. Maybe he compliments your outfit before anyone else does. Or he says, did you do something different with your hair? Before you even mention it. He might not always use the perfect words, but the fact that he notices speaks volumes. It shows he's paying attention, not just to how you look, but to how you feel about yourself. Sometimes, he won't say anything at all. He'll just look at you a little longer, smile a little wider, act slightly more nervous because something about you caught his breath. These silent moments of admiration are often the most telling. What makes this sign special is the sincerity behind it. He's not trying to impress. He's genuinely impressed by you. Noticing the changes you make, even the smallest ones, means he's tuned into your presence in a way that only someone with growing feelings can be. And when a man sees you like that, not just once, but always, you've already taken up space in his heart. 9. He talks about the future with you in it. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the clearest yet quietest signs is how he starts talking about the future, and you're naturally part of it. He doesn't make grand declarations or push big commitments. Instead, he weaves you into his plans without even thinking twice. His words say what his heart hasn't admitted yet. He sees you staying in his life. It shows up in small, casual ways. Maybe he mentions going to a concert we should check out, or says, next summer, we should take a trip to the coast. It's not always romantic on the surface. Sometimes it's playful or offhand, but the message is clear. In his mind, you'll still be around. He's imagining his life with you in it, not just today, but tomorrow and beyond. He might talk about career goals, future places he wants to live, or dreams he's working on, and you'll notice he frames them in a way that leaves space for you. He values your thoughts when discussing long-term plans, even if they are light-hearted or years away. That's because your opinion matters to him. He doesn't just want you to know about his future, he wants you in it. These kinds of conversations reveal emotional investment. They come from a place of comfort and hope. He may not say I love you yet, but every time he says, we should, or you'd love this, he's painting a picture of a shared life, even if he doesn't fully realize it. A man who's falling for you doesn't talk about forever in dramatic speeches. He simply makes room for you in the days to come. And in those small glimpses of tomorrow, his feelings begin to shine through. 10. He listens closely, even when you ramble. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the sweetest and most telling signs is how he listens to you, especially when you ramble. Not just the important conversations, but the long, scattered ones where you drift from topic to topic, change your mind mid-sentence, or share stories that don't really have a point. He doesn't zone out, check his phone, or rush you. Instead, he listens, because it's you. To him, your voice isn't background noise. It's something he wants to soak in. Even if you're talking about a dream you had, a childhood memory, or a silly moment at work, he pays attention to the details. Not because the story is always fascinating, but because you're the one telling it. The way you speak, the expressions you use, the way your eyes light up, those are the moments he quietly treasures. You might notice he brings up something you said in passing days or weeks later. That's because he actually heard you. Not just the words, but the emotion behind them. He listens not to reply, but to understand. And when someone truly listens to your unfiltered thoughts, it means they're not just interested in the polished version of you. They want the real you. This kind of listening creates a safe space. You start to feel like you can be yourself around him, without having to perform or explain too much. And that's exactly what he wants, to know the parts of you no one else gets to hear. So when he leans in during those pointless stories, nods with a smile, or simply stays present through every twist and turn of your words, know this, he's not just being polite. He's falling, slowly and quietly, with every word you speak. 11. He gets a little jealous, but hides it. When a man is secretly falling for you, a quiet flicker of jealousy often appears, but he'll do everything he can to hide it. He doesn't want to seem insecure or possessive, especially if he hasn't confessed his feelings yet. So, instead of reacting loudly, his jealousy comes out in subtle ways. A change in tone, a shift in mood, or a slightly longer pause when another guy's name comes up. Maybe you mention someone you had coffee with, and he responds with a casual, "Oh, cool," but his smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. Or he suddenly changes the subject, trying to brush past it like it didn't matter, even though it did. He might not say anything directly, but his body language reveals what he's trying to keep inside. It's not about control or competition. It's about care. Jealousy, in this quiet form, often means he wishes he had more of your attention, more clarity about where he stands in your life. He's trying to stay composed, respectful, and calm, but the idea of someone else catching your interest unsettles him more than he'd ever admit. Sometimes, he'll try to prove himself in small ways after moments like these, making a joke, showing extra charm, or putting in a little more effort. It's his way of reminding you that he's still here, still present, and still hoping you'll notice. When a man is falling for you, his heart becomes more sensitive to how close others are to you. And even if he won't say it out loud, the quiet way he hides his jealousy is a sign that he's already feeling more than just friendship. He's guarding his feelings, and maybe guarding the hope that one day, he won't have to hide them anymore. 12. He respects your boundaries without hesitation. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the clearest signs of his genuine feelings is how naturally he respects your boundaries, without complaint, pressure, or hesitation. Whether your limits are emotional, physical, or even just about your time and space, he honors them because he values you, not just what he wants from you. You don't have to explain yourself twice. If you say you're not comfortable with something, he listens. If you need time alone or want to take things slowly, he doesn't push. He doesn't guilt you or try to change your mind. Instead, he adjusts with quiet understanding, showing that your comfort matters more than his agenda. This kind of respect is a form of care that runs deep. He's not just trying to get close, he's trying to build trust. He knows that true connection only grows when both people feel safe, heard, and free to be themselves. So even if it's hard for him to hold back or wait, he does it willingly, because your boundaries aren't walls to him. They're signs of the person you are. And that person is who is falling for. He also pays attention when your boundaries shift. Maybe one day you open up a little more, share something vulnerable, or let him in just a bit closer. He doesn't take that for granted. He responds with gentleness, not entitlement. Every step forward is something he treats with care. A man who respects your boundaries without needing to be reminded is a man who sees your worth. And when his patience meets your pace, it's not just a sign of respect. It's a quiet, powerful act of love and progress. 13. He opens up emotionally, slowly but surely. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the most telling signs is how he starts to open up emotionally, slowly but surely. It doesn't happen all at once, and it might not be obvious at first, but over time, he lets you see more of what's behind his surface. Not just the facts of his life, but the feelings. He begins to share stories he doesn't tell just anyone, about his past, his struggles, his fears, or his dreams. It might be a quiet admission about something that hurt him, a memory that shaped him, or a hope he rarely says out loud. These glimpses into his heart aren't shared lightly. They come from a place of trust, a space he's slowly creating just for you. This kind of emotional opening isn't loud or dramatic. It's in the way he pauses before speaking, how his voice softens when he talks about something meaningful, or how he looks at you to gauge your reaction. His letting down his guard, little by little, because something in your presence makes him feel safe enough to do so. Sometimes, he might even catch himself, revealing more than he meant to, and quickly brush it off. But you'll feel it, the vulnerability beneath his words. And when a man begins to show you those private, protected parts of himself, it means he's not just falling for your smile or your energy. He's falling into a connection that feels real. Emotional openness is never accidental. It takes courage, especially for someone who usually keeps his feelings tucked away. So when he starts revealing the parts of himself that don't usually see the light, that's not just conversation. That's his heart, reaching for yours. 14. He values your opinion on personal matters. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the clearest signs is how much he starts to value your opinion, especially on personal matters. It's not just about asking for advice on what to wear or where to eat. It's deeper. He begins to include you in the inner workings of his life, because your perspective matters to him in a way others don't. You'll notice he asks what you think before making decisions about his career, friendships, or even family situations. He might say, "What would you do?" Or "Am I overreacting?" Not just out of curiosity, but because he genuinely respects your insight. He trusts your judgment. And even if he doesn't always follow your advice to the letter, the fact that he sought it shows how much weight your voice carries. This isn't just about respect, it's about emotional closeness. His letting you into his world, pulling back the curtain on his thoughts, insecurities, and dilemmas. That kind of vulnerability doesn't happen with everyone. His inviting you into the places he's still figuring out, which is a powerful sign of connection. Over time, you may find that he starts referencing things you've said when talking to others. He might defend an idea you once mentioned, or echo your words when reflecting on a situation. That's because your influence is growing in his life, quietly but significantly. When a man falls for you, your opinion stops being background noise. It becomes something he seeks, something he holds on to. Because to him, your mind is just as beautiful as your heart, and he doesn't just want to be heard by you, he wants to hear from you. 15. He treats your happiness like it's his priority. When a man is secretly falling for you, one of the most heartfelt signs is how he begins to treat your happiness like it's his own. He becomes quietly invested in your joy, your comfort, and your peace of mind. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. Your smile becomes something he looks forward to. Your bad days start to weigh on him too. And your wins? He celebrates them like they are personal victories. You'll notice it in the way he pays attention to what makes you laugh, what eases your stress, or what lifts your spirits. He might go out of his way to brighten your day, whether it's with a small act of kindness, a thoughtful message, or just being there when you need someone. Even when he can't fix what's wrong, he stays close, offering quiet support without needing credit. This kind of care doesn't come with fanfare. It shows up in the small things, how he remembers the little joys you've mentioned, how he adapts to your needs without being asked, how he listens more closely when you're down. He might sacrifice his own convenience or comfort just to make sure you feel okay. And he won't make a big deal of it, because to him, your well-being is already part of his own. He doesn't just want to impress you. He wants to see you happy. And when that becomes part of his daily intention, it's a clear reflection of growing love. You don't have to ask him to care. He just does. Because somewhere along the way, your happiness quietly became essential to his. And in the purest form of affection, your joy feels like home to him.